Welcome to the Woman to Woman TV show. I'm your host, Wanda Carter, and today we're going to be introducing a brand new segment called Grannies on the Move. And guess what? Today I have one of my co-hosts, and her name is Miss Wilma Davis. I'm going to give her a second to introduce herself to you in just a moment. So I want you to grab a pen, go call that friend, and stay tuned in, and we'll be right back with Grannies on the Move.
Them grandkids, they don't want to leave from here. They want to stay here.
My name is Agnes Flores, and I'm raising my grandchildren, and there's 5 of them from 14 to 2 years old. And I wanted to take care of my grandkids because they're my blood, and I don't want them to separate.
My name is Jimmy Mills, grandfather of these kids that I'm raising. Right now I'm raising 2. I'm just trying to do the best I can with the help of God, with these kids, keeping them and bringing them up in the Lord.
And lead us not into temptation.
About 80% of our grandparents and kinship caregivers are not involved through the system, through Department of Child Safety. Most times they're a very informal relationship where they're just taking care of them for the time being and until something changes.
If you love somebody, you'll do anything to help them, to try to bring them up.
Most often, they're not in a situation to really provide for a lot of kids, and they do their best, and they would never want them to go into foster care, so they take them in, but it's always a hardship for them.
It's hard when I first took care of them because I was working at that time as a caregiver, but in the end, I had to give up my job. I'm ashamed to say this, but there's a lot of help out there that I don't know about. I never went out to look for it. And now that I got into this program, Arizona's Children, they're the ones that help me out a lot. And
it's hard, when you got your house, you got to spend the money for the light, gas, and water and all of that, and then put clothes on these grandchildren. It's hard.
Sometimes there's health issues, sometimes there's financial issues, sometimes it's just parenting and how much parenting has changed over the ages.
I know I'm getting up in age, but hey, I'm still yet here for them, and I'm willing to keep on doing what I'm doing for them.
they telling me I'm just grandma. I am just grandma here. I'm not really your mom or dad. And all you kids right here, you're the family. This is your little family right here, your brothers and sisters. I'm just on the sidelines guiding you.
He's doing it because he wants you to be better.
We try to love each other, and if we can bring that love into each other, then everything will work out all right.
I tell them I'll be here whenever you need me. I'm here. I'm never gonna let you go until you're ready. They are my life.
And we're back I'm Wanda Carter, your host for Woman to Woman. And we are doing this new segment called Grannies on the Move. And my co-host today, as I said before, is Miss Wilma Davis. And I'm going to allow Wilma to tell you all a little bit about herself before we start talking about the discussion we're going to have today on ways we can help our grandchildren, they're adults, get some training and get some work. Okay, Miss Davis, take it away.
Hi, how is everyone doing? I'm here sitting here stuttering. Okay, I'm Wilma Davis, and I do convention sales at the Chicago South Loop Hotel. Chicago South Loop Hotel is a black-owned hotel. It was actually built in 2008. So we've been here quite a long time.
8 years.
I walked around this place when it was nothing but cement and clay, like the walls of Jericho, that I'm going to work here. So
All right.
I've been here ever since.
So you've been here the whole 8 years?
I've been here the whole 8 years, despite the, I see people come and go, but
Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm the oldest one
Well,
here.
this is where we had the ceremony, the going away ceremony for my deceased husband. And we filled one of these banquet rooms up
I
with
remember
folks that came out to salute him.
I
So
remember that.
I remember you being around for a long time,
A long
girlie.
time. I tell you, it's just my pride and joy. And the hotel, the rooms, a lot of the rooms, we refurbished the hotel. A lot of the rooms were actually done by Macy's.
Oh,
So I mean, if you guys want to take a look, I can show you some.
we can
of
have a
them.
tour.
You can have a tour. We used to give
Oh.
tours all the time, but now since we done
Wow.
got on the move and up in the money, we don't give tours as much as we used to.
Okay,
You
all
know.
right, all right.
So anyway, we're right here on the corner,
Okay.
26th and State Street. So if you want to have a convention or anything like that, just call the number on the screen.
All right.
Okay.
So this is Grannies on the Move. We're on the move, right?
That's
and we're
right.
going to be telling you a lot of information today, talking about our grandkids, because that's why we started this segment. We wanted to bring the grandmothers and grandfathers out to talk about how we're dealing with our adult children who have children. And we are the grandmothers, and eventually we'll have some dads on here. We will be the granddads, and we'll be talking about how we're assisting them in getting training so they can take care of their own children. Okay, so Ms. Davis, you were going to tell us about the training programs that are available for 16 to 24-year-old adults.
Yes. It's a training program. As a matter of fact, I met one of the young men at Luster Products, and Luster Products is the only black hair care products that we do have. All the rest of them, they were sold or either bought out. And this man, I admire him so much because he actually started selling, hair products in the back of his car.
What?
Yes, he did. Now his grandchildren are taking over.
Check that
Oh,
out. But they
checked that
taking
out.
over, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. See, because we always try to do something that we can hand off to our children and then our grandchildren. But in my family, I'm fortunate enough to have two granddaughters, the only granddaughters I have, that are going to go into communication. Because they want to be on TV, they want to be on the radio, they want to do like they grandma. But
How about that?
boys, I got 5 grandboys, ain't none of them talking about being on TV, being on the radio. I can't even get them to sit down long enough to do a show.
Well, something that's funny because, see, girls, you don't have a problem because, I have, 2 granddaughters. They both finished college, one at DePaul and the other one at Marquette University.
Okay.
The boy, oh my God, and maybe because there was not a male around. I keep trying to go back and figure out why is he this way. He just started like this at 22,
Really?
and he's 27. Now, he just made 27.
Well, I got a 28-year-old grandson that was always classified as a slow learner in school, but that boy was never slow. I used to tell them teachers all the time, ain't nothing wrong with his mind. He's slow because he's faster than y'all. He don't want to do what y'all say, so he becomes a class disruptor. And that's not because there's something wrong with his mind. It's because y'all too slow for him. He's speeding.
They say in our ancestors that we were once kings and queens.
Yes, we were.
And I think what happens with the young men, with a lot of them, by them being males, You talking about kings and kings. You know, they're not going to take anything they feel
That's
that's
right.
beneath them.
That's true.
Now we have to look at that.
Yeah.
You know, because they are no matter what they're into, like Josh. Josh is a proud young man.
Yes, he is.
I look at Ash. Ash is the same way.
Yes.
He's a very proud young man.
Yes.
You know, and I think what my daughter did wrong, she actually tried to control him by giving him drugs because of the doctor said.
And the doctors are only people, you know, and if they can't figure out what's going on with our young people, they want to put them on drugs.
That's
They
the
put
way
them
they
on
control
drugs and they
them.
slow their minds down so they can talk to them and they can try to figure out what's going on with them. But like
I
the
think they be
psychiatrist-
trying to steal their smart
Yep.
and their intelligence.
Like the psychiatrist told me, I took my grandson to a psychiatrist when he was in 5th grade years ago because I just wanted to know why it was they kept classifying him as a slow learner. And that man said, there's nothing wrong with your grandson's mind. He said, as a matter of fact, he's a genius. He said, the school is trying to get control of the way he thinks. They want to modify his behavior. So you have to make sure he understands that he's okay. And allow him the freedom to be who he is.
So, you know, Grannies on the Move, we do a lot of different things. And one of the things, again, about this program that I was talking about, it's a manufacturing program. And I don't think young men should be afraid or ashamed to do that. Because who knows, one day you might own your own manufacturing company.
true.
When you go for a job and you don't have a college degree, always think of it as a chance to own something.
A chance to
Don't
step
just
up and
sit
do
up
your
there
own
and
thing.
say, oh, I'm
Yes.
going to be working for them for the rest of my life.
Right.
No, this is a chance for you to own something.
Makes
And that's
sense.
the way you do it.
Makes
The man, the owner, the founder of this hotel, James White, I will never forget what he told his daughter. He said, never look at anything as though you're working for it. Always look for the opportunity to own it.
I love that.
Isn't that
I'd
something?
love to meet him.
Oh, he's not
Maybe we
doing
should
his-
have him on Grannies on the Move.
we have to, he passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
to hear
he
that.
has so much wisdom. He never believed in his children working. You got to own something.
I like that.
I like that. She started off by doing some, sweet potato pies.
Stop it.
Yeah. And she got famous. She started speaking all over. I mean, she was truly amazing.
That's wonderful.
You know, so I think what we do is tell our kids, oh, we can have the American dream, go to work, go to work, go to work. But what about owning something? I used to take my grandson around to the expos that I used to do for youth. And he would look, and all of a sudden he ended up, when he was in, it was 7th grade, starting his own little company, him and
That's
this little guy.
excellent. What did he
You know,
do?
He had these he's a good artist. So he had these little ornaments that he would make, and they would sell them for 75 cents, and they would keep the quarter and put the 50 cents they would invest back in the business.
That is so smart.
Now you would think that somebody would continue this progress in him. They would see that. But sometimes the mothers be so busy because they done found themselves
Yes.
and they done, oh, I can do this and I can do that. So that leaves that male child who don't have but that one parent,
Yes.
you know, it leaves him out there to think for himself.
Yes.
That's what happened to our boys.
Yes, I think you're right about that. But my grandson had his father. He had his father when he didn't have his mother. I think the issue is, too, that when they don't have that male presence to guide them, because my son always worked.
Mm-hmm.
He worked 8, 12, 16 hours a day, so he was hardly there. But I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, that male presence to say, this is the way you this is the way you act when to be a man. This is the performance you have to render as a male. This is what males do. This is how males think. You have to be, somebody has to be there to guide them. And if there's not a male presence in the home, then yes, you're going to have male children trying to figure out how to be a man looking at women.
That's right. That's exactly what
One
they
of my
do.
grandsons used to go to the bathroom and sit, pull the seat down to sit down to use to pee like women do,
Yeah,
because
like a
that's what
woman.
he saw.
Mhm.
And
That's what he
it
saw.
took my brother coming around to say, no, Men don't do that.
That's right.
You raise that seat up and hold yourself and aim to that toilet. Make sure you don't pee on the floor. And so, yes, that male presence is so vital. Not only for the boys, but for the girls too.
That's true. That's
Because
true.
girls need that male presence so that they know what to let a man that they want to associate with do or not do. If you're watching your dad deal with your mom, then you know what's right.
You know what's right and what you don't want and what
Exactly.
you're not going to have.
Exactly. So yeah, there's a lot that we have a lot to be said about males and having that male image to guide them, to teach them, to train them. So you men, we need you all to step up to the plate and take these young men by the hand and show them how to be men. Show them what it takes to be a successful man, because we have hundreds and thousands of black
putting him out. If I
successful
were you,
men.
when he get a certain age, kick him out. Kick him out what? Kick him out in the street. Then he goes into drugs.
Yes.
He's trying to find himself because you ain't taught him nothing.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can't kick a kid out in the street and not teach them.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
my
and you
daughter-
shouldn't kick them out anyway, because where are they gonna go?
They
Then
gonna
you
go
know
find
they
something.
gonna get in trouble.
That's right. You have to, I call them lazy parents. My daughter, I love her dearly, but she was lazy. Instead of her disciplining him, she would put like a pacifier, put a pill in his mouth. Then he got addicted to that pill, and she wasn't keeping up with it. Then this doctor would give him medicine without even, giving him the therapy, either testing him or something.
To see if that was what
To
he
see
needed.
if
Yeah.
it need to be decreased or increased,
Right.
or he was on the medicine a year too long.
Oh wow.
You know, but he's struggling. He's a strong little cuss. You know, he's struggling, but he's okay. And about this program is at right now it's at St. Sabina's. It's a manufacturing program. It starts from ages 18 years old to 24, and they make like $300 a week for 4 weeks. After the 4 weeks is over, the next 2 weeks they're on internships at one of the manufacturing places. I know that Luster Products is involved in part of it, and there are other manufacturing companies. And after the 2 weeks of internship, they still work with them until they find some type of position.
Excellent.
And I think that's such an excellent program. Holy Angels will start their program sometime in the spring.
Now,
So
Holy-
that's in, the Holy Angels is right there on Oakwood Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah, and see, they will be doing the 18 to 24. They also have an extension.
18 to 24?
18 to 24.
So who's gonna do the 24 to?
From the 24 to the 26, it has to be done at another place.
Oh, you don't know
So-
that place yet.
Well, I'm looking at 2 places, and I don't want to mention them until I really have them.
I understand.
Mhm.
I understand.
But again, if they call the number, that you have for them, we'll make sure to keep that number, and then we can announce when we're going to have that when we're going to have that 24 on up.
Okay.
Because those are the kids that's hurting.
Yeah.
Is that past 24?
Right,
like
25
26.
and older.
Right.
Because
right.
my grandson is 28, and because he is a ex-con, he cannot just go work anywhere.
And see, they take ex-cons. These programs do take ex-cons.
Okay,
So
that's a
anybody
good
that
thing.
has a felony,
Yeah.
they actually take. And this is what we need. We need some volunteer lawyers. Tell
Yeah.
these kids where to go. We even need some naturopath doctors. We need something like that. So they will have more knowledge about how to take care of themselves.
Yes, that's true.
And that's what
so
I would
true.
like to bring in. Grannies on the Move. Let's bring some naturopaths and have them come in here and talk about their health. Let's get a seminar going so they can ask questions. Our boys are afraid to ask questions.
Oh my God, there we go again.
There you go.
Okay, stop it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, thanks for listening thus far. I hope you've gotten some good information about training and manufacturing. And now we're going to talk about ex-cons and the difficulties they have with being able to get a job because of their criminal background. And as long as, in my opinion, as long as these folks have not killed anyone or maimed anyone, and they should be able to go and get a job. And since that's so difficult, and most jobs that they are able to get are in the suburb, and then the issue becomes they don't have a way to get there and get back. So Miss Davis and I were talking about starting a transportation service so that when those folks find a position out in the suburb, we can get them there, and we can pick them up, and they'll just pay us to be their transportation services, to provide those transportation services. I want to stop for a minute though and let the viewing audience know how they can contact the Woman to Woman TV show, and in response to any inquiries you may have about this discussion today, we will get in touch with Ms. Davis and make sure that we can follow up with whatever your inquiries may be. Our phone number is 929-888-7124. That's 929-888-7124. And guess what? That's a Google number. So if you have a Gmail account, you can get a Google number, which is what we did for the Woman to Woman show. Our email, we have 3 of them: woman to woman, the number 2. So that's woman spelled out, the number 2, at ccnewsmedia.org. Our second Gmail email is woman, the number 2, womantv@gmail.com. Our third email is with Hotmail. It's woman, number 2, womantv@hotmail.com. And our website is www.ccnewsmedia.org, and then click on broadcast, and you'll be able to see the shows that we've done at CAN TV and on YouTube. They'll all be listed there. Okay, and this is our new segment. We're calling it Grannies on the Move, because we're grandmothers. And we're going to be inviting some granddads on too. And we're going to have other guests, because we want you, our viewing audience, to know that as grannies, we have a new ongoing job, and that is to help our grandchildren be successful in life. That's our goal. Right, Wilma?
That's right.
We want to help them be the best they can be, because without us, they just be left to the wiles of the world. And with the criminal justice system locking them up, with the drug dealers trying to get them on drugs, alcohol is a legal drug. What they don't have a whole lot of opportunity to be successful.
They don't have to go out in the street and get drugs. They can get them right at home from the doctor.
Yes, they
all
can.
they got to have is just ADHD or whatever they want to name and title it, and that's it. That's the pacifier.
That's
it's
so
like
true.
taking candy.
And they give those drugs so freely.
Right.
And then your grandchildren sit around and look like robots.
They do. They pupils go like, you know what I'm saying? What is wrong with you? You look like, like you're cuckoo or something. You know what I'm saying?
And they have become cuckoo because those drugs stop their minds from functioning.
And every time a problem comes, the first thing they do is either grab a drink. Nowadays, they drink with the drug.
Yes.
And
that's even worse.
That's
even worse because now you got a double addiction. You got the alcoholism and you got the drugism.
You got the drugs.
So it's so deep.
My grandson was
so
on such a strong drug that the hospital didn't even want to detox him because of the fact of what this drug, what the detoxing will do to him. He would have to have close supervision.
Wow. Well, I am the personal assistant for my brother, and he takes drugs all day long, and I was trying to put him on a herbal regimen to ease him off the drugs so that some of his conditions could be modified. The herbal specialist told me he's been on these drugs so long, since he was 18, he's now 58, that it would be almost impossible for him to switch to a herbal diet, an herbal regimen in order to rid himself of those drugs.
Now, see, that's the whole thing, because, it's just our people that are suffering like that. And it's not so much the grown people like myself. It's the young people that are coming up. And other people that they didn't know what was wrong with them. So what they do, they give them a drug, give them a drug, give them a
Yeah.
drug to do this.
Yes.
By the time I started getting on drugs, I was old enough to know better. But see, a lot of people are not old enough to know better, and the doctors put panic in you.
Yes.
You know, if you don't take this drug, you're going to do this.
Right.
This is going to happen to you,
Right.
and that's going to happen to you.
Right.
And a lot of people, it's just killing them. So we do need more NAPAPAT
Yes.
to step up. And let's just have some workshops and some seminars and just help. We need some legal help here. We need transportation.
Yeah.
If anybody want to help, take a group of boys, young men rather, out to some of these suburbs and let them work. Some of these guys don't even know what work is.
No, they like I mean, you know, their work experience has been so infrequent because maybe something happened to them in their real young age, and they started on these drugs, and now they're in their 50s, and that's all they know. And so working, that's like, what do you mean? I can hardly walk up some stairs.
But see, these little jobs like this, it's day work. It's called day work. It'll give them a chance to socialize, because they will have other young men. It'll give them a chance to get some work experience, so they won't be so afraid of things. Because my daughter used to tell my grandson, now don't forget to take your medication, because you know you can't work without your medication.
Wow.
I mean,
so that
boom,
puts in
boom,
his
that,
mind
right.
that
So,
he can't do nothing if he don't take them
exactly.
drugs.
Had you not came over and picked him up and took him to work, and he liked that. He like, wow, Grandma, I could have been making $13 an hour. He bragging about, you know.
But to him, that's
a
more
lot.
than he's ever made. So that's a good thing. And our children need. These are young adults. They need to be able to make money. They need to be able to buy their own cigarettes, their own food. They need to be able to pay something towards where they're staying.
Right.
They need to be able to sustain themselves so they can feel whole.
But there are so many kids. I look at him. He used to play basketball. He graduated from Hales. He used to play basketball. And when I say basketball, I had a coach, private coach for him playing. And he said, let me train him. We can get him a 4-year.
Oh, wow.
My daughter said she didn't want him to be, what do you call it, stereotyped.
Oh, my goodness.
What
was she doing?
Well, she was in the corporate world. You know, basketball to go to school, you know, that's stereotyping. And because she'd been out there in the corporate system, and so then his music, he got on radio, he appeared at the African Fest. She decided to give him something to relax his nerve one day to play, and told me she did. I could have slapped. I could have did.
Don't do it, Mama. Don't do it. I know.
said, what did you give him? Something just to relax his nerve. Now he's going into music, and you're gonna give him something to relax his nerve.
Oh my God!
You know,
he'd probably be playing all out his head.
Yeah, he was.
If he could play it, if he could play it all.
Well, he gave it up.
Oh.
You know, he gave it up, but he loves to operate video stuff and everything.
Well, send
like
him
that.
on over and let's train him how to be a videographer. Shoot,
Yeah.
maybe we pay his fee for him to go down to Cannes and take those classes, and then when we shoot in the field, we can let him be our
But
videographer.
there's so many of them like that. It's just, look at Josh. Josh is so old-minded.
Yeah.
He has so much wisdom.
And Josh got them 4 kids, and Josh wants to do everything he can to bring his kids up the way he thinks they ought to be brought up.
But
He
he's
told
so wise, though.
I heard him tell him the other day, I'm the daddy.
Uh-huh.
You do what I say. I said, look at Joshua.
Yeah.
He the daddy. And I had to back up and say, Dad, he is the daddy. I'm just the grandma. But I'm looking at him, I'm like, wait, you don't have to holler at him so much.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
Yeah.
Let them grow up and figure things out like you had to grow up and figure things out.
Yeah.
But he is adamant.
But you know, I had
Those are his children.